Yo fellas, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. I'm not doing good. I've just recorded this video 3 times. First 2 times got to turn my mic on. The other time, everything just went to shit. Oh my god. Either way, I'm still going to put on a front. We're still going to get this video done because fucking Sallkild got it done, mate. He got it done. He got it done versus Gamrot. Who does that to Gamrot? I said he'd win. Everyone was saying Gamrot, gassing up Gamrot all over social media. Look what happens. Sallkild gets it done in the first round by submission, but before we get on that, I'm here to give him a full reaction to the card. I not only gave my main event predictions, but I watched the card. It was actually pretty fun. I got a few things to talk about, so I thought, why not come in here and give my full reaction. So the first fight we're going to talk about is not these first 2 because I didn't watch them. I know, call me a casual, whatever you want, but then the TNT Sports don't start the streaming until like an hour after the card starts, right? That's not my fault, and I'm not going to buy a UFC Fight Pass to watch Juliana Miller versus Ravina Oliveira, alright? Sort yourselves out. Alright, first fight we're going to talk about is Miles Johns versus Gianni Vasquez. And Miles Johns gets it done in the first round by TKO. It was a nice win. Gianni Vasquez coming on a short notice again, obviously, in his UFC debut against one of the Basharat brothers. I can't remember which one it was. I don't think it was Farad. I think it was the other one. Or was it Farad? I don't know. If it's Farad, it wouldn't surprise me because they went to like a 29-28 close decision. Will the Basharat brothers ever get a TKO? No. Either way, Miles Johns gets it done. Gets hurt, actually. Gets hurt badly. Not badly, but gets stumbled by Vasquez. And you thought, oh no, here we go. But Vasquez doesn't really have that finishing instinct in him. I think he hurt the Basharat brother he was fighting as well and just couldn't find the finish. And Miles Johns, maybe literally about 20 seconds after he got hurt, lands a lovely counter left hook on Vasquez, drops him bad, finishes up with ground and pound, and finishes Vasquez for the first time in his career. Vasquez has never been finished in his career before, so that's impressive in his own right to finish a guy that's never been stopped before in his career. Great win for Miles Johns. Start off the card. Well, not starting off the card, but you know what I mean. Either way, moving on. Next fight, Manuel Souza. Oh, by the way, it won't let me open this. See, that's why we're not opening them. Either way, Manuel Souza versus Richie Miranda. Great fight. I thought this was a good fight. Manuel Souza also had a little bit of hype around him because he had that nasty knockout win over, what's his name? What's the kid's name? Belgian fella. Balagiocchi. Nasty KO win over him a few months back. Miranda's coming in here for his UFC debut, and it was a close fight. It ended up 29-28, so all came down to that third round. It was a close third round. First round starts out, and Miranda does really well. He gets his grappling going, and towards the end of the round gets a he lands a nice takedown, and lands some nasty ground and pound afterwards. Short elbows, hammer fists, some elbows to the body as well. Really piled it on Sosa in the last minute and a half of the first round. But Sosa had this game plan, you could tell from the first round before it went to the ground, and he carried it on the second just to land low kicks. And them low kicks, when they look nasty, Joe Rogan was gooning watching this back at home probably. And Miranda's legs were compromised after this. You could tell it was targeting that right leg of Miranda, was Sosa, but he also started going for the left one as well, and it definitely hindered Miranda's stand up. But Miranda was standing his own ground on the in the stand up in this fight. Sosa definitely has the upper hand in the stand up. He's explosive. He's definitely more powerful. He puts his combinations better together. But Miranda was doing his own thing still. And in the second round, Sosa hurt Miranda badly to the body, pushes him back, and kind of like, I think he goes for like an uppercut, and Miranda kind of dodges out the way, and ends up catching him just below the rib cage. And then one's hurt. If you know, you know. Them body shots hurt. The ones that just scrape past you, catch you off guard. Them ones hurt. And you're thinking, oh, that's it. Sosa rushes in like a headless chicken, though. He rushed in like a headless chicken, and Miranda managed to scramble a takedown and save himself for the third round. And Sosa decides not to throw a single body shot for the rest of the fight, even though he's just hurt a bloke to the body. Great game plan by Sosa. Don't know what he's doing. Either way, third round, Miranda tried to do his thing and did alright. Even though obviously he couldn't really move about in his legs much, and he was obviously still recovering from the body shot, but he had all the time in the world to recover from that body shot. But Sosa was landing the bigger shots on the feet. I mean, it was quite even in the output, but so you could tell Sosa's shots had more pop on them, they had more power, they were doing more damage. So I understand why they gave it to Sosa, but again, it was a very close fight. Good win from Manuel Souza. Moving on. Oh no, this is sad. Louis Sutherland. I think he left his bag of tricks back in Perth in May. I don't think he's brought his bag of tricks back home with him. What is going on? Louis Sutherland loses to Jose Montana. Why am I saying Montana like that? I'm literally from England. Either way, Jose Montana gets it done in the first round by submission within 2 minutes. Fuck. The crafty blob Louis Sutherland loses again. It's sad, alright? It's sad. It's actually sad. I'm actually hyped. I'm hyped. It's always a good day when Louis Sutherland's fighting. I'm hyped for a Louis Sutherland fight. And this happens, man. But Louis Sutherland, he kind of whiffs on a few punches at first, lands a Michael Morales clobbering right hands, doesn't really do much, but Jose Montana, he gets up on the clinch for Louis Sutherland. Louis Sutherland goes for a trip, and he just made a mistake here. He went for a trip, he ended up on bottom position, and it was all over from there. He ended up on bottom position, and when you weigh that much, and you're built like that, unfortunately, you cannot get up from that position when you're on bottom, unfortunately, in the heavyweight division. He tried to scramble Louis Sutherland, do his little rollout, and but it didn't work. It didn't work. He just worsened his position. He gave his back up, and Jose Montana got the face crank. And it was all over from there. Sad to see. We're still Louis Sutherland enjoys on this channel, but is what it is. Is what it is, man. Either way. Moving on. Diar Nurgazoy versus Bruno Lopez. I have to be careful how I say that name. Either way, Nurgazoy. Nurgazoy gets it done. He was the only one trying to fight in this fight. Bruno Lopez was trying to gouge his eyes out. Someone needs to tell him that's not okay. I mean, seriously, what was it? 2 or 3 eye pokes? Not a single point taken. These UFC refs need to learn how to take points and stop being scared to. Like, you do one accidental eye poke, okay, you let him off. Even if it's like an on-purpose eye poke, take a point. If it's an accidental one, okay, let him off. Happens again, take a point. Same with groin shots, same with cage grabbing. There was a few guys who were cage grabbing this fight. This fella, Guillermo Pat, he was cage grabbing in this fight. And I can't remember which one. Someone else was cage grabbing this fight, in this fight card. Refs need to take points. Stop being scared to. If you take points, other fighters will look at that and think, oh, all right. These refs are getting stricter. I need to be more careful. Like, I don't understand. Either way, Nurgazoy punishes Bruno Lopez for them eye pokes. Both guys are going from a lot of low kicks early on. Nurgazoy's low kicks looked like they had a lot more on them. They're definitely doing more damage to Lopez's leg compared to the other way around, vice versa. But yeah, Nurgazoy hurt Lopez bad with a left hand. I think it was a left hand. Bruno Lopez had a massively delayed reaction. He kind of stood still. And obviously, about 2 seconds later, went all jelly-legged and started stumbling backwards. And he thought he was going to be over there. Manages to survive and save himself. But literally about 30 seconds later, with literally 1 second left in the round, Nurgazoy pushes him up against the cage, lands the uppercut. The uppercut did the job. Lands some other shots. Puts Bruno Lopez down. You could say early stoppage because there was only a second left, but I don't know, the way he fell, I'm not complaining about that being finished. And he tried to grab Nurgazoy and try to hug onto him and whatnot afterwards. When a fighter does that, you know when it's called time, But great one from Nurgazoy, nasty finish. Bruno Lopez ain't that great, and it's just getting beaten up recently. Unfortunately, he got beaten up badly by Navo Sterling before that, so needs to take some time off maybe. But either way, moving on. Stephen Asplund, go on, mate. Go on. Gets done versus Guillermo Pat. This was a great scrap. It was a good fight. I enjoyed this. Asplund enjoys on his channel. That's what we are. And Asplund gets it done. Very, very, very good fight. I was worried for a second though. In that second round, I was very, very worried. But in the first round, Stephen Asplund has a great first round. He always has a good first round. Even against his fight against Vitor Petrino, which he lost in his last fight. He dropped Vitor Petrino in the first round, had a great first round, and he just faded as it went into the second and the third and became a little bit sloppy. In this fight, I thought that was going to be the case because he had a great first round, Stephen Asplund, working really well in the clinch. That's what he did really well in this fight, Stephen Asplund. Very, very strong in the clinch. Was turning Pat around quite easily, landing lots of knees. A few of them maybe were low, but we don't care. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Stephen Asplund landing some nice knees in the clinch, elbows in the break, doing his thing. Crafty and Guillermo Pat up. Stephen Asplund had Thomas Peterson in the corner, who beat Guillermo Pat a few months back. Thomas Peterson working his magic in the corner. And Stephen Asplund won the first round pretty dominantly. In the second round though, I was worried. He did get dropped for about half a second, Asplund. I was like, I was worried. I don't think he was too badly hurt, but I think he just got caught off balance and Guillermo Pat landed nice shots. But I was worried for a second. And he started to get really sloppy, Asplund. But towards the end of the second round, he kind of tidied things up, got back to his clinch work, and I think he still lost the second round, but he definitely recovered well after that knockdown. And in the third round, Stephen Asplund just did his thing. He's got that dog in him. He did his thing. got the clinch work going again. Hurt Guilherme Pat bad. What's it called? He broke off the clinch, landed a kind of like a really unorthodox high kick that caught Guilherme Pat straight on the forehead. Hurt him bad. I think he landed a knee in there as well, and locked up one of the tightest standing guillotines I've ever seen. I'm surprised Guilherme Pat didn't tap. I don't know how he survived that and managed to pop his head out. But Steven Aspinall had a nasty standing guillotine on Guilherme Pat. I would have thought that fight was going to be over, but fair enough from Guilherme Pat to get out of there. But great stuff by Steven Aspinall. Lands a few elbows in the clinch on the break there as well. And beats up Guilherme Pat for the rest of the third round and gets the job done. 29-28 decision. He called out Jamal Hill afterwards. I saw that as well. They've both been no disrespect, but they've all been like texting back and forth on each other's social media. I've seen it. I think Aspinall wins that fight. Maybe is that because I'm an Aspinall, I'm a bit biased. I don't know, but Jamal Hill's been just really packing on them pounds at heavyweight. He's not really gaining any muscle. He's just kind of eating his way to heavyweight. Like, that's all he's doing. But I think I'd like to see that fight. That'd be cool for Jamal Hill's debut. I don't know whether he'll want someone maybe in the rankings, but I wouldn't mind that fight. Good on Aspinall for calling out his names and demanding names. I like it. Let's go Aspinall. Come on, mate. And moving on. Billy Ray Goff versus Ty Miller. Ty Miller's good. Ty Miller's really good. I've said this before on the channel. I can't remember when. Ty Miller's good. He's a good prospect. That's 2 fights, 2 finishes in the UFC, and 2 bonuses as well. The guy's made 200k already in 2 fights in the UFC, plus his fight pay anyway. The guy's got sick boxing. He's putting his combinations together really well from the second round onwards. In the first round, though, Billy Ray Goff you could tell he was so desperate not to stand at range with Ty Miller and get into exchanges where they're throwing punches. You could tell he was so desperate to get his takedown in the first round. He didn't get it. He was just kind of stalling Ty Miller up against the cage. He was so desperate to get his takedown. He couldn't get it. And Ty Miller, I think I actually gave Ty Miller the first round. Like, I know he was getting held up against the cage for most of it, but he was landing some nice shots of his own. He was landing some punches to the head, punches to the body, elbow every now and again off the break, and he was doing his thing. He got off damage. I think Ty Miller won that first round, but I think if he didn't get that takedown in the first round, it was only going to get worse for Billy Ray Goff, because in the second round, Ty Miller found his range, and he just started piecing up Goff badly, really badly. I mean, when a guy's got such good boxing combinations like that in MMA, it's so cool to watch. Head, body, step back, head, body, head, and he's just piecing up. It's so beautiful to watch. Nasty boxer from Ty Miller. Throwing some kicks in there as well. And Goff had no answer, unfortunately. He had no answer. And why his corner sent him out for the third round, I don't know. Very silly, because his corner literally said to him between the second and the third round, "Oh, we don't want you to exchange. Just survive, basically. If you're asking your fighter just to survive for a round, no point sending him out there, because then you're just risking more damage you don't need to take. Like, just save your fighter for another day." And then third round starts, and what we all thought was going to happen happens. Ty Miller gets a nasty TKO over Billy Ray Goff, and there was no need to take that damage. There was no need for Billy Ray Goff to take that damage. He'd already been beaten up badly in that second round. There's no need for him to take that damage. Poor coaching, poor corner work from his corner. That's on them. He's just too tough for his own good, Billy Ray Goff. But impressive win by Ty Miller. I'm excited to see what he does next. Moving on. Amanda Lemos versus Alexia Tarnaro. This is actually a pretty good scrap. The women's MMA fight has actually been turning up pretty good recently. This is a good scrap. Heard good things about the Gigi Canuto Carol Fora fight, and also Yulan Miller getting a submission win. It's good to see the women's MMA fights actually turning up recently. This is a good fight. Alexia Tarnaro is big for the division, especially standing next to someone like Amanda Lemos. She's a bit like Fatima Klein. I'm a big fan of Fatima Klein. She's really entertaining to watch. But she's kind of similar in the way that she kind of uses her size really, really well, and just dominates the other girls. You saw it when Fatima Klein fought Tabitha Ricci. You see the size difference and that man strength, that man size, Yeah, it was kind of like that. But Tarnaro in the first round was kind of I could tell the game plan was just holding up Lemos against the cage, using that strength. It was that size advantage, and she was doing her thing up against the cage. She was landing some knees, some punches, and whatnot. But I think she didn't want to stand on the feet for too long with Lemos, because Lemos probably naturally is the better striker. And was it in the first round and the second round? She got like groin shot in Lemos and then just started feeling herself up in the in the corner of the octagon for 3 minutes. What was going on there? Either way, yeah, Tainara I think won that first round. Actually, it was a close round. Lemos was landing some nice shots on the feet, but the second round onwards, Tainara started to get more confidence on the feet. She was landing some shots of her own. Yeah, she was still going that game plan of I'm going to use my my strength here and hold her against the cage and kind of outmuscle Lemos. But Tainara was doing her thing on the feet as well. She's landing some nice shots on the feet. I go second round Tainara, and third round, same thing. Tainara actually put in a really good performance. Sorry, she actually cut Lemos. Lemos's hair started to go red. And Tainara did her thing in the third round. She's standing on the feet more, and she's actually catching Lemos badly. Lemos started to fade quite badly in the third round. She definitely had a better gas tank than Lemos, Tainara did. She was moving around towards the end of the third round really smoothly, bouncing around, and Lemos did look a little bit lethargic and slow, but she is the older fighter. She's like 40, I think, so it makes sense. And Tainara was doing her thing, and in the last 10 seconds they had a cool moment where they were, like throwing massive overhand rights to each other, and they actually clipped each other a few times in the last 20 seconds. So that was cool to see. Overall, it was a pretty good scrap. Yeah, it was good. It was fun to watch. Like I said, women's MMA has been turning up recently. It's good to see. Moving on. Okay, I'm gonna try and stay professional for this. One. Try and stay serious. Darren Elkins versus Yadir Devel. Fuck, this was actually sad. Like, I'm gonna try and stay serious, but I'm being serious. This is actually sad. This isn't even funny. What the fuck are the matchmakers doing? Darren Elkins, he's like 43. The guy's taken well too much damage in his career. Well too much. I mean, like, even that, like, the his interview he did, his media day, sorry. His media day did, it was his interview, and he slurred his words. It's just sad to see. And the matchmakers know what they're doing. They knew it was his retirement fight. They knew he was bringing his family out for this fight. What are they doing? And they're giving him Yadir Devel, who's young, athletic, a prospect. What are they doing? Like, it's just sad to see. It's like let's just call it out for what this is. This was an assassination attempt of Darren Elkins. This was an unofficial assassination attempt from the UFC to try and slime out Darren Elkins and get rid of him for good. I don't know what Darren Elkins has done to deserve this. The guy's been fighting in the UFC for a long time, since like 2010. He's fought a lot. He's had a lot of wins. He's got like the most wins in UFC featherweight history, I'm pretty sure, because the guy's been in the division for so long. Why are we doing this to the end of his career? He should have called off his career a long time ago. He shouldn't have been in this fight with Yadir Devel. He shouldn't have been in this fight at all. He should not be in the octagon at this point in his career, or in his life, sorry. It's just sad to see. Like, at least they gave him on the broadcast. They gave him a little video before his fight, which is cool to see. And they gave him an interview afterwards and let him put his gloves in the octagon. But it's just sad to see. And Yadir Devel's running around like he's fucking killed, I don't know, or he conquered the fucking universe. Or I don't even know. Like, chill out, mate. You've not done anything. You knew exactly what was going to happen, Devel, mate. You knew exactly what was going to happen. You were licking your lips the moment you got this name sent to you by your manager. You were licking your lips, mate. You knew exactly what was going to happen. You knew you were going to get a KO within 30 seconds. And it was nasty. You landed a nasty left overhand on Darren Elkins. And he just knew it would be over. It was just sad to see. Like, Darren Elkins tried to shoot a takedown, and it's like he got stuffed, he got pushed off, and he started stumbling around the octagon. And he just knew it's like I know it sounds bad, but it's like, I know he's old, but it's not that old. But it's like watching someone's granddad in there versus like a young athlete. You know, it's bad. This fight should never happen. And Devel lands a nasty overhand, sends Darren Elkins stiff for a second, drops him bad. I'm trying to stay professional here because it's not funny, but when it did happen, it's not funny. I'm not gonna say it's not funny. It's just sad. It's giving him extra damage you don't need to take. Like, who knows what this extra damage is gonna do to him later on in life. I'm not gonna reference Anthony Smith because it's too soon. I don't wanna get. It's a bit too soon since the old thing, but you know, it's sad to see matchmakers know exactly what they're doing, and then they have the cheek to like give him like a handshake and whatnot as he walks out the octagon. All the matchmakers like Sean Shelby and that lot. It's like, mate, you knew exactly what you're doing. Don't give him a pat on the back and say, oh, great career and all that. You've literally set him up here in his retirement fight. You knew what was happening. This should go down as a crime. I'm not joking. This is borderline a crime. Jail. Someone needs to go into jail, do jail time for this. This is bad. Yeah, Yadi Deville gets the first round KO. Yeah, I'm trying to stay serious here. It is sad. Moving on. Diego Ferreira versus Billy Quarantillo. I think this sums up how weak this card was. You got these two as a co-main and Darren Elkins on a main card in the Big 26. Billy Quarantillo has no defense whatsoever, no striking defense whatsoever. Diego Ferreira is actually a crafty young. Gets it done, 30-27. There's an argument you could give Quarantillo the last round and 29-28 it, but I think Ferreira won all 3 rounds. If you're gonna personally. And Quarantillo's corner had the cheek. Did anyone else see that? At the end of the fight, one of Quarantillo's cornermen came rushing in, screaming, and trying to pick him up like he just won a world championship. Look, what are you doing, you melt? You're not trick. This isn't one of them where it's a close fight and you might, trick the judges to, and sway it your way. That crafty old trick. It's not one of them, mate. It's not like it was a razor close fight. You got your ass beaten for 3 rounds, mate. What are they doing? Clowns. Either way. Yeah, Diego Ferreira. Oh my god, what's going on here? Great striking performance from Diego Ferreira. Crafty young, he's like 42. And he had insane output. First round, and second round especially, just every time Quarantillo walked in, 2, 3, 4 punches, and they're mostly just straight punches. They're just a jab and a cross constantly, just throwing in 3s and 4s. And Quarantillo kept ducking his head to the right, and just with his hands down, and just getting completely pieced up. What is he doing? That right hand, Ferreira landed that right hand maybe like 30 times the whole fight. What's Quarantillo doing? Learn from it. Dip your head the other way. Slip a punch. Just walk, putting his head in the way. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, Ferreira, he's got a great output for 42. I know, compare him to Jan Blachowicz, someone who's 42. I know this isn't like a diss at Jan Blachowicz. I'm a big Jan Blachowicz fan, but the guy's around the same age as Jan Blachowicz, and compared to Jan, he's got an insane output, Diego Ferreira. And obviously, I know these guys in the lighter weights, they're going to have higher output because obviously, lighter man skill and all that. And they're fitter and they've got a better gas tank usually. But still impressive. Ferreira put on a nasty striking performance for 3 rounds. Quarantillo had no striking defense. 3rd round, he started getting this thing going. Quarantillo started backing up Ferreira. That's just Ferreira's fading a little bit. Obviously, he is 43. But he was still landing the bigger shots. That right hand was on all day. That right hand was money from Diego Ferreira. And great striking performance from Diego Ferreira. Called out Jim Miller. Unk versus Unk. Why not book it? Why not? Moving on. Main event time. Let's go. Quillen Sallkild gets it done versus Gamrot in the main event. This shit was impressive. This was very, very impressive. Who does that to Gamrot? Seriously, who does that to Gamrot? Gamrot bullied Sarukian. I know that was 2 or 3 years ago when they were a bit lower ranked, both of them, but still, bullied Sarukian to Gamrot. Oliveira didn't have as easy as time with Gamrot when they fought last year. I know that was on short notice, but this is a full camp Gamrot, and Sallkild gets rid of him very easily. I mean, let's talk about the actual fight first, and I'll talk about how impressive this is, and what's next for Sallkild. But so the fight starts out, and obviously Sallkild looks huge next to Gamrot. Sallkild's massive for the division, and he hurts Gamrot pretty much straight away within the first couple minutes with a nice left hook, kind of a short left hook, bit of a jab left. It was kind of a weird unorthodox punch, but he hurts Gamrot bad, catches him, drops him for a second, and Gamrot shoots in a really a panic takedown really. And Sallkild stays composed and stuffs it, but Gamrot nearly gets the takedown. He was holding on to a leg for the single leg for a long time, even when he was in bottom position. And he nearly had a leg lock as well. Gamrot. But Sallkild stayed calm, stayed composed. I don't think it was a tight squeeze it looked like, but I don't think he really had the angle in it. But Sallkild stayed composed, got out of it. Gamrot used a lot of energy in the arms, obviously squeezing on that leg lock, and it was a bit panicky. It was all a bit kind of hit the emergency red button from Gamrot. That type of performance. The minute he got hurt, he kind of just panics. And Sallkild, which I didn't think he was going to do this. I thought as he broke free from the leg lock, I thought he was going to stand up and get back on the feet. He just dropped Gamrot, or stumbled him. Sorry, and you think that you're going to get back to the stand up where he definitely had an advantage, but he actually showed that he has great grappling. I said this in the predictions video. I said don't underestimate the grappling of Quillen Sallkild, but I was more talking about the takedown defense rather than the actual grappling. I know I did say obviously you got that submission win over Jamie Malarkey, but you know, Jamie Malarkey to Gamrot is fucking, you know, it's fucking apples and oranges. It's two completely different leagues. Do you know what I mean? But he had great takedown defense against Benny Dariush. You know, Benny Dariush holding you against the cage for 3 minutes and couldn't take you down. Dariush has got great takedowns, and he's very strong as well, and he's good at wearing his opponents down like that. And Sallkild didn't get taken down once, and but in this fight, he turned Gamrot around and managed to grab his back and work his way to a submission rear naked choke. Very impressive, very impressive. You know. I mean, I think Gamrot was a bit lost. I think he didn't really know what's happening here. Like I said, he was panic stations for Gamrot and gave up his back. And I think he didn't know what to do. He was kind of panicked here. It took about a couple of attempts for Sallkild to get under the neck. Eventually, he did. Tight squeeze. Gamrot tapped. What an impressive performance. I mean, I said I had Sallkild to win in this fight. I had him to win by later rounds TKO. I did not expect him to outdo Gamrot in the grappling like he did and dispatch him easily in one round like that. I mean, he made it look easy. Sallkild looked like the experienced veteran who's been in the top 10 forever, and Gamrot looked like the prospect who just come into the top 15. That's what it looked like. Seriously, who does that to Gamrot, you know? It's crazy you win. And he puts things into perspective now, yeah? Jesus Christ, I can't say that word properly. But, like, think about it now. Sallkild's possibly one win away from a title shot. A win like that against Gamrot, you have to give him a top 5 opponent. You know? Who have you got? So you've got Gaethje's obviously champion. You got Topuria, Paddy Pimblett. Them two have to fight. I've seen guys calling for Paddy Pimblett versus Sallkild. No, piss off. You know what I mean? Same guys that were complaining that Paddy Pimblett and Topuria has never happened will be, you know, are asking for Sallkild versus Paddy Pimblett. You actual, I'd be careful what I say on there. I don't know what actually you can get done for YouTube, done for saying on YouTube. Holy voice crack, Jesus. Yeah, actual idiots. You know, we actually have a chance to have Paddy Pimblett versus Topuria. Let them fight. You know, then you've got Sarukin's already booked. Oliveira, I'm not sure what they're going to do with him. Maybe he's taking some time off because obviously he lost his friend, or maybe they're giving him a title shot later in the year. Who knows? Then you've got Max Holloway. I think you have to book Sallkild versus Max Holloway now. Sallkild said he wants someone in the top 5. You have to give him someone in the top 5. Not BSD. I've seen people calling for BSD. Not BSD. You want someone coming off a win who's higher ranked than BSD. And I think Max Holloway's the guy. I don't want him waiting around until next year for Conor McGregor come back again. I don't really give a shit about that or any. I don't care about it anymore. And neither should Max Holloway. He can easily do bigger and better things. And Holloway, you have to give Holloway. Holloway has been fighting these top guys for so long. Even when he's come off losses, he's been fighting these massive fights. You've now got to give him someone outside the top 5 and 6. You've got to give him someone who is trying to break into the top 5. You know what I mean? You can't give him elite, like, you know what I mean? Elite fight after elite fight after elite fight. I do think Colin Sallkild's elite, but do you know what I mean? It's like, you can't give him like a massive name 100% of the time. You know what I mean? You can't give him main event after main event. I mean, this could be a main event. Sallkild versus Holloway could be a main event in Perth. You know, maybe early next year, at the end of the year. But I think you've got to get Max Holloway versus Sallkild in there. You've got to give Sallkild the opportunity against these guys. And these guys, the top 5 in the lightweight division, have to give these guys coming through the chance. You know, and that's what Ilya should do against Paddy. And the same here of Holloway versus Sallkild, which I think should happen. We've had the same faces at the top lightweight division for too long now. You know, Gaethje's been there forever. You know, Oliveira's been there forever. I'm a big Oliveira fan, but he's been there forever. Holloway's been there for a while now in featherweight at the top, and now lightweight. You know, we had Poirier just retire, who's been there for ages. You know, it's the same old faces. You know, we want to see some new faces in there. I want to see Colin Sallkild, Paddy Pimblett fight. These are top elite guys again. You know, I think Gamrot versus Sallkild versus Holloway is a really interesting fight. It's a really interesting fight. I'd love to see that. Yeah, great one from Colin Sallkild. Big things from next. And he is mental. He is one win away from a title shot. If you said to me after the Dariush fight, a few months later, he'd be one win away from a title shot, I wouldn't have believed you. But great one from Colin Sallkild. No one does that to Gamrot. Overall, this was a pretty fun card. Obviously, it was absolute dog poop on paper. But overall, this was a fun card. There were some fun scraps on it and some like funny moments. So it was good. Good to see. Like, comment, subscribe, boys. Cheers for watching UFC 330 predictions and some other video ideas, because I've got a few. Look out some fun videos coming in the next week for those of you watching me regularly. And cheers for watching, boys. Peace.